In 1979, an unimaginable event took place in the Muslim Ummah. Let's see what happened. 20th November 1979, a new day has begun in Saudi Arabia like every day. Fajr Azan heard, thousands of worshippers at the Kaaba entered the mosque in preparation for the prayers. But no one could have imagined that the day would be a black day for the Muslim Ummah. What was seen on this day has never been seen by Muslim Ummah before. The day was the first day of 1400 Hijri. That is the beginning of a new century. Imam Muhammad ibn Subayt of the Kaba has just finished his prayers. Immediately, shots were heard in the Masjid al-Haram. It was understood that there was a noise in the first row. Suddenly, some armed men dressed in white appeared. They were in the prayers. The gunmen took control of the Imam's microphone. They surrounded Imam's wife. They controlled mic and announced. An armed announcer began criticizing the then Saudi government. They said that evil deeds have increased in the society and the signs of the Qiyamah have come true. The announcer read a hadith.
In the event, the
Prince Turki al-Faisal al-Saud was talking about that day. He said in an interview that Juhayman and his associates entered the Kaaba with a coffin. Instead of dead body in the coffin were weapons and ammunition. The Prophet has been said that a guide, a mujaddid will come at the beginning of every century. Think a little bit about philosophy. That day was the first day of a century. At this time, the announcer read the hadith regarding the arrival of Imam Mahdi. The man announced that Imam Mahdi was among us. During the announcement, a person came forward in front of the microphone. It was announced that he is Imam Mahdi. The worshippers were called upon to take the place in his hand. The man who is being called Imam Mahdi is Muhammad ibn Abdullah al-Qahtani. He was a descendant of the Qahtan clan of unadulterated Quraysh dynasty. He was introduced as Imam Mahdi. The announcer himself took the place in his hand and ordered everyone to take the place. This armed announcer was Juhayman bin Muhammad bin Saif al-Utaybi. This person is the mastermind of this armed terrorism. He wanted to seize power. He wanted to seize power or change Saudi power by arranging Imam Mahdi's place. The position of the claimant of Juhayman and Mahdi was between Hazrat Aswad and Maqam Ibrahim. As the Prophet has prophesied in the Hadith, the name of the declared Mahdi, the name of his father, The name of the clan are similar to this hadith. Most of the worshippers at the Kaaba that day were non-Arabs. On that day, many devotees took the oath of allegiance in the hands of Imam Mahdi. The Muslims were shocked by firearms, ammunition, and fear. They left the place and started fleeing. But Juhayman's army closed all the doors of the Kaaba. They declared that they could not enter or leave the Kaaba. They declared that anyone could not enter or leave the Kaaba. It is said that the number of Juhayman's army were 600. They hold the Kaaba hostage for 8 days. They overcome the initial resistance of the Saudi police. They killed many policemen. The incident was not known from outside. 8 days have passed since the Saudi government decided to rescue the Kaaba. On the 9th day, the Saudi police and army launched an operation inside the Kaaba. Then Juhayman dispersed his troops into the Kaaba complex. Juhayman's troops took up position on wall floors, underground roofs and minarets. They demanded that the Saudi family relinquish power. The Ulema Council has already declared that this person is not a real Mahdi, but many Islamic scholars were silent because they were shocked to see that the incident matched the hadith. This declared Mahdi is similar to the information in the hadith. But when the scholars realized that Imam Mahdi could not take the Kaaba hostage, could not cause bloodshed inside the Kaaba, their views changed because hundreds of people were killed in this incident. The holy Kaaba was damaged. The roof minarets was held to protect the Kaaba from gunmen. The so-called Imam Mahdi was shot dead. Juhayman and his men took up position in the Kaaba underground. Later, the underground was filled with water and everyone was killed by connecting electricity to it. 70 prisoners, including Juhayman, were publicly hanged.
By the way,
Dr.
Osama bin
Yasir
Laden himself
Kadi
mentioned
analysis.
that one of the first signs of becoming more Islamic to him was the Juhayman incident. That he took inspiration from Juhayman, and he writes, and I have his writings, and his lectures. He writes that no doubt Juhayman, what he did was wrong, but still I sympathize with much of what he did. Now, wallahi, I have no sympathy for Juhayman. I have no sympathy, zero. You are going to kill people in front of the Kaaba. I don't care what your causes are. You are a fanatic. I don't have any sympathy for Juhayman. But who had sympathy for Juhayman? Osama bin Laden.